Hey guys, back with another SuperCoach video, and before I get things going, apologies for another late upload. It was a pretty busy week, so I guess better late than never. Scored 2,124, moved down 3,000 odd spots, or almost 3,000, and finished the season just outside the top 20,000, which is disappointing considering I was a lot higher ranked a few weeks back, but I probably get what I deserve. Yeah, talk about that later. Let's just move on to the team for now. Final team review of the season. Doherty, only the 88, not great. I didn't watch the game, so I can't really comment on it. I'm going to assume he did get a little more mid-time, but at the same time, Carlton got smashed, so it just wasn't great for most of the Blues players. Taylor Adams on 98, he was okay. Rory Laird, not great. Dylan Robertson, just awful. I didn't watch that game, but gee, I just don't know what happened there. Zach Tui, not great as well. And Luke Ryan, the only guy in defense that hit the ton. I forgot to sub in Lloyd. I was gonna have Lloyd on field for Ryan, and it's kind of a blessing in disguise that Lloyd stayed on the bench and Ryan was on field. But in hindsight, probably would have had Robin on the bench. But that's hindsight. It's easy to say those things, but at the time, you just don't predict that Robin's going to score 31 or Tui's going to score 55. So yeah, in the midfield, Paddy Dangerfield just doing what he does, ends the regular season on a high. The 163, he's going to be around 740k next season. That's just going to have to spend a lot of coin to get him. And Tom Mitchell finishing the season on 111, good stuff. Bontempelli's last couple of scores to end the season, just awful. Mitch Duncan has been so consistent this season. I know he probably wouldn't have made the All-Australian squad of 22, but I feel like he deserved a spot in the 40 over Joel Selwood. He's just been so consistent this season, so well done to Mitch. Zach Merritt ends the season on a high, the regular season, with the 135, kicked 4 goals. Good stuff from him. Josh Kennedy as well, the 117, good stuff. And then Mountford and Brown there in the 50s. In the rucks, Brady Grundy was good, 93, and Max Gorn. Bad ending to the season for him, but he should be nicely priced next season. In the forward line, Jack McRae's just been so consistent and is maybe an option as a point of difference in the midfield for next year. That 119 there has just been so consistent. And Elliot Yeo, not a great regular season ending for him. Only 77. Dalhouse hasn't been what we hoped for. Only 67, only average 90 this year, so it is disappointing. Toby Nankervis, last couple of scores have been great. Good way to end the season, regular season for him. Isaac Heaney, not great, 76, and then Toby Green, the 88 there. So yeah, that will do it for the team. Let's just take a look at leagues let's just see who's won it here. And in my own league, it was Joel beating Owen by 17. Very close matchup there, so good stuff to Joel. Won the league from 7th place. And in the minor premiership, it was Tom beating Josh there. And in Shorty's SuperCoach League, we have Barbecues Chalor winning it all. So good stuff. And in the minor premiership, it was Danger back-to-back. So that's it for leagues. So here we'll take a look at team history. We'll just take a look at ranking for the most part. So yeah, just started off badly this season. Starting off around mid 50k mark. So yeah, definitely a bad start to the season. But things got a little better as the season went on. And I peaked around 14. Could have been a lot more. I was just outside the top 2,000. Could have been inside the top 2,000 if Joel Selwood hadn't gotten concussed in the first few seconds of the game against Freo, and we finished on 3 that week. And then it went downhill pretty much for the rest of the season, and it was probably a deserved ranking in the end due to Mainly, I'd put it mainly on my decision making at this before the season started, mainly on my starting team. We'll take a look at my starting team after this, and we'll take a look at trades as well, and I'll review some of the bad decisions I made throughout the season. So yeah, let's move on to my starting squad, and we'll see what went wrong, because there were plenty of things that went wrong, judging by this start to the season. So here is the starting squad, and gee, just looking back at it, there were a lot of awful decisions made before the season started. I think all these bad decisions on each line, they sort of link with each other. I'd say it starts off in the midfield. There were plenty of bad decisions made there. I'm happy with starting Danger, Mitchell, Fife, and Selwood. Danger and Mitchell especially. You know what, Joel Selwood as well, I'd say, because his first half of the season was just unbelievable. He got most of his good scores, got all of his good scores really. So I'm pretty happy with that. And that Fife was a lock to start the season. So yeah, that was a given. But Kennedy and Cripps probably shouldn't have started with either of them. Would have saved a lot of money. Cripps definitely not. Was a massive risk. And looking back at it now, it was just the wrong decision. Could have started with Dustin Martin in his place. But at the same time, those two spots could have been replaced with Josh Kelly and Clayton Oliver. Would have saved me around 300k maybe. And in the rucks as well, Todd Goldstein, that was a bad choice. I wanted a couple of point of difference players, but they didn't pay off. And I fell behind very quickly, so yeah, it cost me big time. Could have started with a Sandilands, a Witts, even a Cruiser. But, at the start of the season, I wouldn't have imagined that Cruiser would have been the #1 ruck. So, it's easy to say these things when you look back throughout the season. But, yeah, it would have saved me around 200, 300k there as well. So I could have had an extra 600k to work on other lines. That's why I said the bad decisions all link. Because I could have worked on some other lines, such as upgrading Tui to Doherty, maybe getting a mid-pricer in, maybe upgrading a Hibbard to a Marchbank, a rookie with better job security, and, maybe getting someone else in for Pickett, maybe a Ryan Burton even for Pickett, something like that. Hoskin Elliott for Taranto, that definitely would have made my starting team a lot better. Not starting with Rufford or Rewalt. Upgrading Brett Eddy, maybe. So, yeah, there were plenty of decisions there. Upgrading Jad Pickett as well. It's so easy to say these things when you look back throughout the season, but, what can you do? Also, Joel Smith as well. He's starting with Andrew McGrath. Even though he had a poor preseason, so there wouldn't have been many that started with him, but well played to those who did. So, it's just, like I said, it's so easy to say these things once you look back throughout the whole season. But, you learn from these things, and, I feel like I'll definitely do better next year. Hindsight's a great thing. You get to look back and see where it went wrong and how you can improve for the next year. So, as well as a poor starting squad, the poor starting squad probably influenced some of the trades that I had to make, and of course, all of that resulted in a poor second half of the season. So, let's go look at some of the trades that I made. So this is a spreadsheet that I made to record all the trades made throughout the season. I'd say this was mainly inspired by Jock Reynolds' analysis of the 2016 winner, where he used this type of spreadsheet to record all the 2016 winners' trades. I just added a couple of things to trade key there, but that's about it. I guess we can go round by round to analyze all the trades made here. I'd say the first 5 of 6 trades that I made were a result of a bad starting squad.
So Rewalt to Steele, Cripps to Pendlebury, Smith to Marchbank, Taranto to Hoskin Elliott, and Goldstein to Grundy. It just comes down to who I start with, and I just had to. I corrected a lot of those, and yeah, it cost a trade, wasn't ideal at all. So yeah, it probably does come down to poor decisions when making the starting squad. Hoskin Elliott to Balik, of course, that wasn't the right time to downgrade Hoskin Elliott in the end, as he ended up dropping a 125 against Geelong right after I traded him. And then Roughhead to Cripps. Well, Roughhead ended the season very well, but also, well, Patrick Cripps ended up getting injured again, so gee, in hindsight, I don't know with that one. Maybe I could have kept the faith with Roughhead, but there were plenty of poor scores down that stretch. So I don't know, maybe I should have held. I don't know what to make of that one, because I felt like Cripps was really building as well. But I definitely shouldn't have started with Cripps, but trading him in I felt like was a good decision. If I hadn't started with him, it would look like an even better decision, but gee, I don't know, Cripps was building before he fractured his fibula against Melbourne. Parfitt to Parsons, I guess that one's fine. Odden to Robertson, I'm happy with that one. I don't know about happy about trading in Robertson, but trading out Odden at that time was definitely the right decision. Probably should have just gone with Hibberd. It would save me over 100k, probably around 133k around. I did want to add in a point of difference. I think that's why I said during that video where I traded in Robertson, I wanted a point of difference selection, and he went very well to start off the season. Dropped off though towards the end of the season. That was very disappointing. So in hindsight, could have gone with Hibberd, but that's looking back now. And let's see, Curtly Hampton to Jared Berry, that was fine. Houston to Heaney, that was okay. Balik to Myers, would have loved to have Balik for a lot longer, but personal issues for him. And let's see, Eddie to Stewart.
It was an okay trade, but in looking back now, it would have been better to have traded in Hugh Greenwood. And let's see, round 10, Marchbank to Perryman. I'm happy with the Marchbank downgrade. Not sure if there were any other options at the time when trading in Perryman, but if there were, probably should have traded that player in instead. Dan Butler to Toby Green. I was very happy with this trade from rounds 10 to 14. Then Green got injured, got suspended. Don't think he hit the ton in that stretch. So in the end, looking back, I probably should have traded in maybe a Paddy Ryder. Round 11, Pickett to Greenwood, that's fine. Mountford to Bolton. If I knew that Mountford would get called back up to the senior side 2 weeks later, probably wouldn't have had to have made that trade. Round 12, Stewart to Cousins. It's another Hoskin Elliott situation there. Stewart ends up hitting the ton once I trade him out, of course. Perryman to Ryan. Happy with the Ryan trade in. Berry to Doherty. Of course, can always rely on Doherty, and I'll learn from my mistakes and start with him next season. And round 13, Myers to Mountford, that's fine, and these next two trades hurt me a lot. Fife to Bond, Steele to Yo. Looking back now, should have held both, definitely. Probably should have found another way to trade in Yo. And yeah, just looking back at it now, it was two bad decisions. Fife and Steele finished off the season so well, and Bond is pretty poor. Spent too much time in the forward line. Yo, he was okay. He had his moments. He had that one very good score against the Giants, that 125, but yeah, having Fife and Steele in the side would have been very ideal. Come end of season, round 14, Palpepper to Brown, that probably should have been Witherden, and Barrett to Lloyd. I had a lot of cash there, but it was handy to save a lot of it. Plus, Lloyd had been scoring very well. It was very cheap, so just had to trade him in. Looking back now, probably should have gone with another option because Lloyd wasn't as reliable as we expected. I'd say Jared McVeigh probably had a negative impact on him, but yeah, just we can say all these things now. Looking back at it, probably should have picked someone else. Round 15, Newman to Merritt. Happy that I traded Newman over Tui as over the last few rounds afterwards, around 16 and 23. Tui definitely scored better than Newman, so very happy with that. Trading in Zach Merritt. Yeah, I'm pretty content with that. Probably was a better option out there because Merritt had his very tough stretch, not hitting the ton and getting suspended. But he had his moments around 16 and 17, and of course to end the season around 23 with the 135. So yeah, he had his moments, but it probably was a better option actually. I probably could have traded Fife back in. Oh, you never know. Actually, I was probably too early for it, but yeah, could have. Never know. Just looking back now, it could have happened. I don't know. Round 16, Stewart to Junker. That could have been Witherden as well if I didn't trade Parsons and to Gorn in the same week. Because again, looking back now, Parsons ended up scoring more than Gorn in round 16. So yeah, in the end, I could have saved some cash. Could have had Witherden in my side. Yeah, it's just lots of better things could have happened now that you look back. And round 17, or before round 17, of course, Cripps got injured against Melbourne round 16, so had to trade him out. And I'm very happy with trading in Mitch Duncan, great point of difference player, very consistent, and he turned up, I think, every single game, so I'm very, very happy with that. So that will do it for this video, I think. It was an up and down year of SuperCoach this year, but it was a great learning experience. Definitely take all this in, try and apply it to next year, hopefully get better, hopefully do better than 20,000. And yeah, would have loved to have finished higher, but of course, poor second half of the season. I did this to myself, so yeah, I get what I deserve there, but like I said, learning experience, and hopefully I do better next year. Hopefully I can manage my trades better next year. Hopefully I have a better starting squad next year. That's probably one of the most important parts, the starting squad. I've done a little bit of planning already, but anything can change, anything can happen in the next 8 months or whatever it is for the start of the 2018 season. So yeah, if you guys were able to stick around for most of the series, credit to you, and hopefully you enjoyed the videos, and hopefully you guys did better than me throughout the season. And yeah, that will probably do it for this video and for the SuperCoach 2017 series. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.